talk about them hot corners. I like it. We're keeping it. Third base, tiers and rankings for the fantasy baseball season. I'm Namco, this is Dustin, Fantasy Smack Talk. You've heard us talk about in the other videos because nobody starts with hot corner.
I'm sure there's some people that do.
Nobody did. And our promo code's FST 2015. Go ahead, just sign up now, deposit some money. Fantasy Baseball Daily is very, very fun. But we're talking about the full rankings here. So Dustin?
You know, in recent history, I don't know if I've ever remember looking at a positional tier for tier 1 and not seeing any guy that should really get drafted in the first 2 rounds. I mean, it's crazy when you're looking at third base and there's not anyone that I'm excited about taking in the first 2 rounds. It's kind of scary. I mean, so that should tell you something about how third base looks this year. But Nolan Arenado's the guy that you got to have first just because he's got the most upside in terms of we don't really know what he can do. We know he had a good year last year. We know he's got a lot of potential. He's the guy that we think's number 1 at third base. You look purely at numbers, you know, Todd Frazier should definitely be.
I like Todd Frazier.
I mean, we got him at number 3. I mean, I think it was a little fluky last year. You know, I think solid numbers, great year. I'm just scared paying any type of decent price for him, hoping that he can repeat that because I'm not sure he will this year.
As we look at tier 2, first going to start off with a guy that nobody in your league's like, oh, I was waiting on him. What a good pick. Can't believe you drafted him. But he's always good. It's Kyle Seager. You know, we really like the kid. He's 27 years old. He's kind of right there smack dab in his prime. You know, batting close to 300. He had 25, well, about 270. He had 25 home runs last year. He's going to get you a little bit of speed, 7 bags. I think those numbers are pretty consistent. He's kind of an all-around solid pick, not the funnest guy to own him. And the other guy I'm going to talk about that will probably get overdrafted, in my opinion, is David Wright. We got him ranked here, 32 years old. He's on the downside, it looks like. I mean, it's been steadily going down. He's not the David Wright of old. I think the numbers that he did last year, 270, 10 bags maybe, 10 home runs, right around there, is kind of the best that you're looking at for him. So don't think you're getting a steal whenever you're getting him in the later rounds or middle rounds.
While there's not that many first basemen that should be drafted early,
third
baseman that
hot corner
that should be drafted early, it is fairly deep once you get into the middle in terms of guys that you can get excited about that you can get a little bit later. I mean, starting out tier 3, we got Carlos Santana. I mean, here's a guy that all the upside in the world, really like this kid, but just the average just plummeted last year, but the power was still there. So, you know, you got to think he's going to hit better than 231, at least you hope he will, but you can almost guarantee that the power is going to be there. And then Matt Carpenter's another guy that I like. You know, obviously his power isn't nearly what Santana can do, but 99 runs. I believe he led all third basemen last year in runs. You know, so he is, you know, lead leaguer in a category for the 5x5s for third base. So he's certainly a guy who we don't really know necessarily what his upside is either. So he's a guy that's definitely worth the game a little bit.
Tier 4, I'm going to talk about an old guy and a young guy. Old guys are Aramis Ramirez. Again, kind of boring. No one's gonna, be really upset that you took him because they didn't get him. But he's been solid across the board. I think that can kind of somewhat continue. He's not gonna blow you away with stats, but at least he's getting somewhat undervalued because he's going so late in drafts. The guy that's getting really overvalued right now is Chris Bryant. This guy isn't even in the bigs right now. He's getting drafted in some cases in the top 10 at this position. He might not get called up till June. I understand he's got some power and some pop, and he's one of those big prospects, big name that you're going to be hearing about. Let somebody else grab him that early. There's no reason to draft a guy that's going to sit on your bench for that long of a time. I mean, it really might be a June call-up, so just keep that in mind when you see the Chris Bryant hype. And when somebody drafts him, ooh, what a good pick. They say that now, but then he's going to cut him eventually.
He's going to be good.
He will be good when he finally gets up there. Just don't be drafting him and pick 90. It's crazy.
Our last tier, Trevor Plouffe. You know, here's a guy that you can get late, especially in 5x5 leagues where he's just going to be decent across the board. So if you missed out on everybody, he's a guy that you can get that should at least be serviceable for you in case unless you can find someone else on the wire later on. And then Alex Rodriguez. You know,
hey, right.
We'll see what the old man can do. I mean, I don't think it's a terrible gamble. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's been juicing this whole time and he's ready to go. So, we'll see.
Close us off, Dustin.
Namco right here, Dustin right here. FSC 2015 for FanDuel. Getting to that. Getting to our forums. You got any questions?
I
like the idea, but that was pretty bad.
I've never tried it before. I'll do it on the next video.
I hope you do. I hope you do it in every video.
And miss consistently. Challenge accepted.